Seriously, how good are these Cowboys? I personally think they're the second best team in the comp right now. You can tell me otherwise if you like. Obviously, Broncos will have something to say about that. The Souths are up there; they're near it. The Storm are around it, obviously there as well. The Tigers are close. No, I'm kidding. The Warriors are obviously up there as well. But yeah, I don't know. They're amazing at the moment. We'll get to them in a sec. They absolutely brought a 60-odd average player to his knees, and that absolutely killed my team. But we'll start with the positive side, and that's the Roosters defeating the Titans. And it's actually the first game all year, I could say, that the Roosters played well. And they still let 3 tries in at the end. So 30-0 early at halftime there. And Teddy, masterclass. Welcome back, the great man. 47 average now for the year. So a couple more of these and he'll be back to that 50 average that he normally hits. And for the doubters of Teddy, people said that he was done and everyone was selling him after that 15-20. This is what he can do. And if the Roosters play okay, even just okay, then he's going to be in all of the tries. He's just everywhere. Obviously 3 turnover tackles as well in this one. A few good tackles got him over the line for an incredible 87. So happy days for owners of him. Obviously a little bit of a lower ownership, and that obviously kicked off a great day. What I thought was hoped would be a great day. For my side, and then we had Fafita with his lower minutes, unfortunately, and they defended him really well. So let's get to Fafita now while we're here. 46 for him in the 61 minutes. So he's one of those guys that just can accumulate really easily, and they were kind of tackling him in threes, and that stopped him getting the tackle breaks and the offloads, and they finally got him one-on-one a little bit later, a little bit into that second half, and he got that offload away, line break assist, tackle break as well. So it's one of those games where he just wasn't put in the correct positions. He had plenty of tough carries, but just, as I said, it was three on one for the most part on him in that one. A lot of people have brought him in, and if you have avoided him over the last 2 weeks, it's worked out great because a 49 and a 46 really hurts me who prioritized him last week. So frustrating on that front. Let's head back up top, and Egan Butcher is the next on the list at 77, along with Nat. So both of those guys just absolutely dominating, getting a try each of them, and also a try assist for Egan in this one. Nat almost had a runaway try if it ended up being called that, but back to his best, 50 tackles, 1 miss, and obviously that try as well. So 68 for him, and it just, it's just, you just got to plug him in, lock him in your side, and just don't think about him, because you'll end up averaging 55 with a 30 odd, then he'll go to a 68. So very, very crazy on that front. For those who are looking at Aaron Clark, this week was the week. It was not last week. I had a few people asking me about him the round before last when Tino was there, and that was not the play. This one here, 76 in 55 minutes. How Clark, Randall, Fodawaker could all get 59 plus. Randall the 65, Clark the 76 in a team that got absolutely decimated. And it wasn't even tackles for Aaron. It was 4 offloads, 5 tackle breaks, and a try to go along with it. And I still don't understand why they haven't persisted with him in that 13 role at all. He provides a lot. Yes, they got smashed, but him providing that second phase play, him making good runs, obviously 157 meters for the 5 breaks there, and then being able to get over for a try. Like, we saw what damage he could do at the end of last year, and they just have not used him until this game. It's probably a little bit late for that. But yeah, he's someone that absolutely dominated. And I spoke about Randall a little bit as the guy that was going to benefit mostly from the Tino out. He was already playing some decent minutes, and it would look like he was going to play even bigger minutes in this one, and that was the case at 77. He ended up with a try as well as 2 line breaks. So 65 for Randall, fairly expensive, and obviously Clark's the one at 367, who's going to be up a lot higher following this. That was probably more of the buy. And can you look at any of these guys going forward? With Tino out another couple of weeks, it's probably hard to do that unless you're really desperate for a hooker as cover, and it's crazy how much better the scoring was from Clark, Randall, 2 hookers in fantasy than that of Harry Grant and Reece Robson, and these guys that we look to as the saviors of the hooking position. And I just saw Fantasy Amateurs put out a fun post on all the best hookers at the moment, and Lockie Croker has the best 3-round average of all the hooking stocks, and Grant is in there with a 50 over his last 3 as like the 5th best option, and then everyone else following that. Obviously Tanner Boyd in this one had a shocker. Robson's been really, really low. So yeah, crazy times. Hargraves had a 61, which is massive. What about Brandon Smith, the most inconsistent player of this season by far, and who's going to fall for the trap again? He gets a 60, maybe he goes 60 again next week, and then who's going to buy him after that? I definitely think there'll be a few out there that do it. after that, good score, and he played a lot better, obviously. And yeah, they're much better when he runs the footy plenty, gets plenty of go forward, and obviously the team did in general without Tino there for the Titans. It obviously hurt them a little bit. Mo Fotuaika at the big minutes, as always, 7 tackle breaks, 3 penalties, no missed tackles, no errors. It was a bit of a weird stat line, but he was good for owners of him. Suoli, a much better game on his front, 56 in this one with a try, 6 goals, 200 run meters, exactly what you want from him in that wing position. Fafita, as we said, so let's talk about Fafita and Teddy. Just on, people asking me now, is Teddy a must-have? He's not a must-have, right? He's not going to play the Titans every week, but he's definitely one of those guys you look to have. He's in the top 4 or 5 wing fullbacks, and if he can continue stuff like this, obviously he has a 15 or 20 in his game, but there'll be games like this where he goes to 70 plus, and we've seen that already. When he picks up a try, he picks up some try assists and goes through the middle of the park there with a few line breaks. So only the one in this one, but plenty of involvement through the middle. He's always backing up, which is helpful. And Fafita, on the other hand, seems like maybe, with a little bit of that back tightness, they were able to, it's the right wording, but yeah, they gave him a rest in this one with 20 minutes to go. And hopefully this doesn't continue going forward. And if a game is closer, that he will stick on the park and play the full 80, because we definitely need it for our sides that spent the money, the 850 odd K. He'll be down about 810 or so after this, and really, he's now primed for the picking, I believe. If you're looking for a top tier player in the edge position, it's just funny how it's worked out. We're saying that he was such a priority, and then he's gone 49, 46. It's not the end of the world, but it's not great. Let's be honest. We'll get to Moses in the end, but some low scores, even lower scores from him when I've held him through 19, 20, just really hurts, unfortunately. But there was a lot of players to get rid of. We saw what Cook threw up. I had Robson in there. I had Turpin. Who else do we have? Chines ended up with a good score, but had a lot of mid-rangers that were ready to be moved on. I was like, well, I'll hold Moses. He's the big money guy that we can hold and do well. So we'll get to him a little bit later. I'm obviously pretty pissed at. He ended up okay, to be honest, but it could have been a lot worse. Kelly in there, 44. Cleese Haas actually ran the footy this time, which was good. Manu, the 43. It's fine, guys. 4 offloads. He wasn't on a lot to start, and obviously the tries didn't come his way. He had the 1 try assist with that good flick up to Lindsay Collins, so fine in the centre position. Just good thing is, a lot of these guys, remember, if they score average, it's like, they didn't get injured. That's the big win out of the game. Brimson, 42, if anyone owns him. Not a lot, but there's a couple. Sandon Smith, I just saw an interesting article today. It was saying that we're going to find out today if Sam Walker is going to be back next week or if he's going to be out for the season. And when we say back next week, surely it's not straight into first grade. It would be in New South Wales Cup anyway. So I'd say the best decision for them would be to shut him down for the season, get the surgery or get whatever he needs to get done, and have him back fit and firing for the preseason would be the smart idea. But a line break assist and try assist for Sandon, and he only picked up a 33 is the annoying part of his game at the moment. Splitting the kick meters, there wasn't a lot in this game, just 422 between Kiri and also Sandon, but obviously the missed tackles was a hurtful number in this one for him. And lower than that, Campbell came on for 20 minutes. They flicked Tanner, wasn't playing very well. Not a lot going on for him. A penalty, no errors, but just they were getting pumped, and they always need to find a way to get Jaden Campbell on, and when they're getting the smash, you may as well put Campbell on. He can run, get four and to run things and go from there, but not great. Turpin, the 8 minutes, so he's an instant sell. He was last week. I think a lot of people did already, but if you didn't sell him yet, you needed to get rid of him now. Khan Pereira 4, yuck. I'll leave it at that. Let's move to the second game. So, it was okay. Good win for the Knights. A really impressive win. It looked like that after the first 2 tries for the Storm that they were going to run away with it and absolutely demolish the Knights there. And obviously the sin bin hurt them a little bit and gave the Knights a good chance to come back. But they have a really good attack. So defensively, they actually showed some resilience in that second half, which was wild because it's not expected from the Knights and their defense. At the start, it was terrible, and they really clicked into gear in the second half and kept the Storm guys away. Obviously, Munster was able to get a couple of try assists, but overall he wasn't able to get through the Knights defense, and Harry Grant wasn't able to show much. Hughes was okay. So very impressed with the Knights. Obviously, Ponga with his 55 was very good. Again, was able to help this squad get to a really good win. As I said, his goal kicking still remains to be seen. After 11 from 11, he's absolutely got the yips now, which is strange how you can kick it from the corners and be amazing. And then, yes, he's still getting really tough goals. with a lot of the centers and the wingers scoring. Greg Marzhew scored. Fitzgibbon on that edge. Bradman Best, that left-hand side is very impressive, and we'll get to Best in a second. But Frizzell, with his 65, he very, very impressive to watch. 2 line breaks, 2 offloads, 6 tackle breaks, and a few negatives in there, but for the most part, Frizz was incredible. Was at a point a minute for a long part of this game. So a great purchase for the guys that did grab him as one of the the better edges, and picking him over Fafita was at this stage about a 40-point better swing, which is crazy. Fitzgibbon, another try, continues to be very consistent when he doesn't get a head knock, so good stuff for him. Munster, the 58, again, not much more you could ask for, especially when they lose, but he did a lot of his good work early. He was 20 odd points in about 15 minutes, and then it slowed down and improved a little bit in the back end of that second half there for sure. Greg Money Marzhew, I can't call him Money Marzhew. What can we call him? Greg the Truck? He is a truck. My God. 54 from him. Try the 2 line breaks there, 8 tackle breaks. This is a standard game for him, apart from the tries. Like, he doesn't get that every game, but you take them away, and it's still, the try that he did got was a no tackle break try. So, you take away that 12, and he's still at 40 mark in a low game for him, which is great. Dan Gagai, the 51. With Greg there, he's obviously one of the keepers in the wing fullback position. You probably have him about 5th at the moment. You've got Drinkwater and stuff like that. There's just absolutely taking the mickey at the moment, that's for sure. Gags for 51, for anyone who held on to him, that's a happy score after him missing some games, that's for sure. I doubt many would have held on, though. I did see 1 or 2, but yeah. Crossan, 51, he's kind of warming into that role, isn't he? Got a try assist there. Doing a great job. Very impressed with what he's able to do. He's obviously just a good footballer. He's able to cover many positions, and now that he's been thrust into this role, it looks like he's taking it in stride and really wanting to be as good of a hooker as possible there. Bradman Best is getting better and better every game. It's very exciting to see him. He's obviously one of the better centers out there at the moment. We'll see like Penasini and a few of those guys. Lomax, Timoko, there's all these guys that are doing really well in that sort of mid-range around Best price. And Best is one of the best of them. That's for sure. What about Trent getting over for a try that gave me... Ugh. It was Munster to Trent Liero, so I don't have Munster and then trading out Trent. I think it was funny at one point, he had the try in the line break. It was 30 minutes in, and he was on 13. I was like, good on you, Trent. Penalties, missed tackles, the like. Then he got the runaway try, which was good, helped his score, but 43 for him, not great. He's not one of the keepers in that wing fullback position. Welchie, only 44 minutes. Harry Grant, the 33, just was a nothing game for him, wasn't it? 1 kick, thread 38 metres, a penalty, 3 missed tackles, 38 made. Yuck. So trading him in last week, thankfully got the 62, but a 33 in this. You look at Robson and Cook, and they're all going low as well. So I think another 70 people picked up Grant in the top 1,000. So I think he's pretty much 100% owned or close to it. So it doesn't hurt us, but it would have been nice to have a few of these lower scores early in the year. That's for sure. But it happens sometimes, for Grant, apparently. And all the hookers. So that's it from that game. All right, let's get the crappy out of the way. As I said, spoke highly of the Cowboys there, and hilariously, 4 of the top 6 scorers here in this game, well, actually, way more. Pretty much all the top scorers were Eels, which is crazy because they were chasing for a lot of this half. So there's a lot of offloads there, a lot of tackle breaks, and you see there, Gutho got 5 offloads, Cartwright had 7, Hopgood and Madison had the 3 offloads each, which is pretty wild. Obviously, 3 to hand, 1 to ground there. Gutherson had 3 offloads to ground, 5 to hand, which is crazy. And I did see a lot of people trade him out after last week, coming into a bit of a tougher period of games for them. And the fact that they have the bye in the last round. But you look at Gutho, and I think by far this is his best season. He's had to do a lot more, obviously, for the club. And I think he's really stepped up. They are struggling right now, and they're a great chance of missing the 8, which is absolutely wild. But Gutho in there with a cracking score. And very sorry for those that sold him. Cartwright, turns out he was just a hold all year, wasn't he? Wow. Up and down. But the last 2 weeks of, the year 70 last week as well. 70 plus 2 weeks in a row is just incredible. 7 offloads, as we said. A turnover tackle, 37 tackles for 3 misses and 111 meters. I think it was the first 20 odd minutes. He hadn't actually touched the ball. He was still on like 14 though in the first 15 minutes with a turnover tackle and 10 made tackles. So he's been amazing. Speaking of amazing there, Scott Drinkwater with the 69, 3 line breaks there, try assist, 10 tackle breaks, try. in everything and continues to build on his average. His last 5 rounds, I believe the average is 72.5 for a wing fullback. For a guy that I'd made the call at the start of the year that he was the play. And yeah, first game he gets a 40, second game he gets sent off. And ugh, disgusting. Yeah, it actually hurts my soul right now. Or whatever it was, sin bin, send off, I don't know, I can't remember, but it was a shocker. To then end up like this, it hurts, but I'm very glad I got on him fairly quickly after everyone started to. I was like holding off for a little bit, but we got there eventually. So he's amazing, man. He's incredible what he's doing at the moment. The must-have in the wing fullback position, if you don't have him, there's not many, but if you don't, you're absolutely missing out, and he needs to be in the side. Just with how the Cowboys are playing, it's way too good at the moment. Penasini, the 59. So this was massive for my scoring here. 11 tackle breaks, and he's so strong. And he was given plenty of opportunity. Obviously off some Cartwright offloads. Sometimes he got some early balls. A few times he was kind of pinballing his way around, which was getting some tackle breaks. But a line break assist, a line break there on his front. And yeah, it was needed for my squad with what was happening with Moses. I think Penasini was on a -1 for like 15 minutes, and Moses at -6 or something at one point. I was ready to cry, to be honest with you, but I think I just turned it. I basically tried to turn it off, or I was muted it, and I was actually watching the. You also watch it. Any NBA fans, any Steph Curry fans should be watching his underrated documentary. I'd watch that while this game was on in the background because I couldn't bear to watch it intently until like something good was happening or Penasini was bouncing off tackles. That's for sure. So he's 59. Just helps his scoring out. We know that the quality that they have on that right-hand side. For Moses, it was probably close to the worst game I've seen him play. Defensively was bad. He lost his mind, yelling at the ref a lot. Penalties, errors, like trying to get up early, play the balls when he was hardly even tackled. I don't know. It was just stupid. So yeah, we're getting into this slowly. I'll basically have all of it out by the time we get to his score anyway. Hopgood, 52. So 57 minutes for him, a little bit lower. I suppose in this type of game when they were getting beat, they tried to come back at the end, use a few of their guys that could really put a score on, or try to anyway. So he didn't come back on. You have Madison 47 minutes as well. So surprisingly enough, he still gets a good score. He just works hard, offloads, doesn't really miss many tackles or make many errors, and picks up a 48. Hopgood's one of those ones. I think Moses would be more a sell than Hopgood, just based on the I suppose the money you could use. Yeah, Moses is that little bit more expensive. Hopgood's he continues to do a job. There was no attacking stats in this one. There's no tackle breaks. Obviously 3 offloads in there, low tackle numbers, and 108 meters. So one of those games, I think that he can improve on that and get back to his mid-50s or so, which puts him just a tiny bit overpriced, which is fine. But the dual position, as we said, I think he's a hold rather than a lot of other players in our side. Madison, one of those guys I think you would sell before Hopgood, obviously a fair bit cheaper. He'll be about 150k or so cheaper by the time lockout ends. And yeah, it's just very frustrating the minutes that they're giving him. So if that continues, then I understand why you would sell him. And if you did sell him this week to get to Cleary or to get to Murray, then fair enough. You picked up 21 points. Well done. Brendan Hands, I didn't play him, unfortunately. I thought this game he might miss a few more tackles and get back into the 30s that he'd been getting, but a 46 in here, 51 tackles, the 3 missed, 23 run meters, so 46, another big price rise. If you did play him, good stuff, that would have worked out well. I'm playing Max King instead, hoping that he was going to get about a 45, and that the Hands might go into the 30s against the juggernaut Cowboys, but yeah, he worked hard for his 51. He's getting better and better every week, I think, which is good for him. Val Holmes got the sin bin in this one, so a bit unfortunate, but he did hit him in the head, so yeah. It's consistent with how they've been calling it. I'll say that. I saw Todd Payton wasn't happy and came out and said that there was no. If there was forcefulness to the head, he should have had a HIA or been taken to hospital. Fair enough. I suppose so. Valemay, another couple of tries for him. Moses, the 35. We are here. So he did get. People say he got bailed out. He worked really hard in the last bit to just be there when it mattered. So anytime Gutho was getting close to making a break, Moses was there. No one else was there. That's just hard work. He needed it. By God, did he need it. The missed tackles early in the game, the error, the penalties, it was disgusting. Still low kick meters of 310. They haven't given him a turnover tackle, so I'm filthy with that. He had the turnover tackle early on Lucy Leilua when he dropped that ball, and they've got an error down there for Lucy Leilua. They don't have Moses for the tackle, and there's one that was probably close. He might have dropped it just before he tackled him, but he should almost have 2, and I'd happily take the 1, and I hope that gets fixed up because that is needed and disgusting. how one-on-one tackles. It was like that Connolly Lemuelu one early in the year, where he just hit him and he clearly dropped the ball, and they just never fixed the turnover tackle. It was just like justice. And that Chance one at the start of the year reminds me of that too. That Chance try saver. Remember that in the first game for anyone who owns him? Disgusting. Yeah. So 35 for him. I can't wait to yeet him out of my side. That was just disgusting viewing, and yeah, it could have been really bad. Could have been a 15 if they didn't kind of come back at the end, which would have been at 873k. You just can't cop that, and they have a really tough run. He'll be better for it. Like that's, I said, I couldn't watch a worse game from Moses, I think, in this one, but it is what it is. Let's move on. Thank goodness Penasini got the 59 and Teddy went hard there as well. We're all riding on Cleary today. If Cleary fails, then yeah, it doesn't matter. The week's cooked anyway, so that's that. Cotter with 35. For those that were looking at Cotter, I just thought it was a mistake, just because his minutes ramp up at the end of the year, and when I say the end of the year, like the week before finals game, is when they ramp up. He knows that he's got the fitness. He can just come out and play the 80 like he does in Origin. But they don't need him to at the moment for the Cows, and that's kind of, it happened at times last year. It was obviously when he's in the tries, when he's in the assists, then it's great and he scores big. But other than that, it just has to go about his work and do his thing and get the quick play the ball and get it out to Drinkwater and Dearden, who's been playing great as well. Lucas 35, so not his best game. He got a lot of tackle breaks on Moses early. Their game plan to target him one-on-one with Lucas Lua, who is an absolute beast. He's so big. Worked great. Worked an absolute treat. They got tries down that side, then they were able to work over that side and then score on the right. Plenty going on for the Cows in this one, and he was a big part of that. Obviously missed a bunch of tackles, didn't make many, 17. Obviously missing a bunch near the end there, so they kind of got him back a little bit too late though. Robson, the 34, very, very frustrating. 24 run meters. Had a turnover tackle in there, and still only the 34 points, so 5 misses for him, 35 made. It's just not the season for Robson. He's averaging 50 now, but I think the last 5 is somewhere in about the 40 range at best, which is disgusting. So he's a sell in my opinion. Hooking position is so bad. You probably want to have Brendan Hands, and Aaron Clark or whatever with Grant, and that's probably it. That's all you want to go as light as possible. Have some cover, but that's it. Dejan Assi, a little bit of a low one for him. Couple in a row now. Jeremiah Nanai had the 30 in his 42 minutes before going off with what seems to be an AC joint injury, which is frustrating, and hopefully he's okay and he rests up and he's back for finals, basically, is what I want as a Cowboys fan. Simonson, so 27 for him. A low one again, so a couple of lowish ones in a row. Obviously, when Moses is there, they go right a lot more. Just seems to be the play. Obviously, with no Dylan Brown there, right side is the stronger side, where they did score a bunch through the middle and on the right side of the middle and through the right. Cartwright being such a big option at the moment. Sean Lane, unfortunately, we'll speak about him in a second. Did we go past him? Where else have gone past him? Where is he? Wherever his score is there. Laney, 38. Dislocated elbow. It looks disgusting, but hopefully it sounds like it's less of an issue than a lot of other injuries, and you can fix that up and get that ready in the next sort of 6 weeks. But are they even going to make the finals? And he's had such a wretched year, hasn't he? Poor Laney. He was so good last year, and he was doing well again. Like, to be honest with you, where was he at? 38 and 53 minutes. So getting about his work, got a couple of tackle breaks and offload. He was fine in that time. But just can't keep it on the park, the poor fella. Finne got 39 minutes in the end, so a bit of a bigger one for him, and I think he worked him up, played some decent minutes. Griffin Neem, unfortunately, had the head injury assessment, and he was Gornski's. Joe O, 16 points for him, not great. Moretti came out and worked hard. Davey in there. Ogden with the 29 minutes there, and Wanga Blake in low. So, I suppose that's it, guys. 3 games done. 2 games remain. We've got Nico Hines versus Cleary, basically. That's going to be next week, but the captaincies, I think it's getting a little bit closer to being split. I think it looks like before it's probably around 40-ish%, 43 or so for Cleary in the top 1,000, and the rest is in Hines' court. It says Cogger at 1.5%, but that would be Cleary, guys. So Cogger would be going to Cleary in that one as captain, and why that hasn't come up yet, because it's got them as blank on the screen when you look at it. So I wish everyone the best of luck for obviously the Ruben Garricks and DCEs, who I don't really want to score well, to be honest with you. And then we've got, Cleary, basically. We need him to go 80 plus to have a really good week and make some ranks. I think we're sitting at 67th now with 3 to go. So, to be honest, if I can hang at 67th, that would be great. That would mean Cleary probably hits a 70 odd. And if he goes better than that, I think we'll make some ranks and get closer to the top 50, which would be cool. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening to the rant. I appreciate it. Always helps me, and I hope it helps you. If you have Moses, you can rant with me as well. And for those that are laughing at me, that's okay as well. I'll just avoid you guys for now until I'm back to the middle. Enjoy, guys. See you later.